getting into the dark side of MJ this week. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about some fights going on in practice, some criticisms, some critiques of Michael Jordan. You know, he was kind of candid on how he felt. A lot of people respected, a lot of people didn't. But I want to hear what everybody's thoughts, biggest takeaways from the Jordan documentary this week. T, you always got something to say about MJ, so you might as well take it off and let us know how you feeling right now.
Hey, he's the GOAT. He could do no wrong in my eyes. One quote Jordan said that stuck out with me was winning, there's a price to pay for winning, right? There's a price for winning, there's a price for leadership. And he showed that. And bad as it may seem, everybody said he helped elevate them. I think we talked about this before. That leadership style isn't going to work for everyone, but when you have a guy that's showing you the path and you can literally ride his coattails to the top, then you have no choice but to get in line or get lost. So I don't have any issues with it.
Yeah, man, I don't see how anyone could have issues with Jordan's leadership style because he always backed it up. Like, no matter what happened, Jordan, you knew what he was going to give you on the court. You knew he was going to take that last shot. He was going to hit it. Nobody could stop him. I mean, we posted him laughing at Gary Payton, man. The way that he dogged the whole league at any given moment, whenever he wanted, to me, that gives him the right to to lead however he sees fit. And yeah, like T said, man, you got to fall in line when you see greatness.
Yeah, I mean, I think T brings up a good point. Like in some situations, you got to fall in line. But on the flip side, I also think that like while I believe that the results are the ultimate, deciding factor on somebody's greatness, so you really can't argue with MJ's results. I think sometimes the ends to those means, you know what I'm saying, the way you get there sometimes it can get overstated based off the greatness of the reward at the end. You know what I mean? I feel like MJ was great, but at the same time, we saw it. He abused his teammates. In many ways, he was a bully. He was definitely a bully. I think it's hard to argue. I mean,
Come on, man.
He called the man a hoe. He called the man a hoe for missing a mid-range missing a mid-range jumper. I mean, it's hilarious. And don't get me wrong, you got to push guys sometimes. You got to pull guys. But sometimes the difference between pushing somebody and trying to pull them up. You feel me? And I think Jordan was a little more just pushing guys instead of really pulling them up. You know what I'm saying? With his play, he was pulling them up. At the same time, that leadership style can rub people the wrong way. And I don't know if those guys respected MJ the same way they revered him. You know what I mean? So
look, I mean, all that's fine and well, but we wouldn't even know those guys if it wasn't for MJ. We wouldn't be talking about Bill Cartwright and the BJ Armstrongs of the world if it wasn't for MJ. I'm pretty sure if you ask those guys if they had to do it again, would they do it differently? They'd tell you no. At the end of the day, Jordan was who he was because of how he was. So,
no, that's a fact. That's a fact. I can't argue with that, man. You really can't argue with the results. Like in my opinion, MJ is the greatest, but I have to be honest and say his leadership style wasn't perfect. And honestly, I'll go a step further and say his leadership style wasn't ideal.
I understand that. It might have not been ideal, but in the day, sometimes you got to do things that aren't ideal to get the results that are not ideal. And not everybody is winning. Not everybody's winning championships. You got to go above and beyond. Sometimes that's what it takes. You couldn't argue with MJ's results. I mean, sometimes I get it, man. It could rub people the wrong way, but I think folks being a little soft, being a little tough on MJ. I don't know about this new generation if they're gonna be able to handle it. If they would have been to handle it, but in that generation, that time, man, that was his thing, and I respect it.
Look,
Hey,
man,
I'll tell you what doesn't rub people the wrong way, and that's winning. MJ was winning, man. It's like you keep saying it's about the results. You could have pissed me off in practice. We go out there and I'm a champion, and it's large part because of you. Then it's not really rubbing me the wrong way that much, man, in my opinion. But I see where you're coming from, Bryce. But the end all be all, man, is winning, bro. And I think a lot of those dudes, they probably learned a lot from MJ, and I think they probably would take some of his leadership skills and apply it to other parts of their life.
Facts. That's a big fact. The man wasn't leading a daycare. All right. He used words like war, trenches. You know what I mean? He was leading a team to championship, success, the ultimate goal. He wasn't in it for the friendships. I mean, I don't think people work their whole life in the gym, in the weight room for friends. You know what I'm saying? To be social.
Yeah.
Maybe that seems like the new generation, but Jordan got 6 rings to show you why.
Let me throw this out there too. What kind of leader do you think you need to be to lead a player like Dennis Rodman? Like there are certain characters and personalities on that team where you needed a Michael Jordan to be on you like that. And I think this new generation could benefit from that, man. I think it's too much Snapchatting, and I mean, don't get me wrong, I enjoy it. I enjoy it all. Like I love seeing the athletes in their habitats and doing what they do on live and all that. But if you do it wrong, man, it can really bite you the wrong way. And I think a lot of these guys could benefit from it's not even a bully as you put it. I would say it's more of a disciplinary style. I think a lot of guys could benefit from that.
Yeah, I feel you. Let me add one thing in real quick, Scruff, man. I think that the documentary kind of highlighted this in the last episode, on the last 2 episodes. It didn't seem to me like Jordan was picking on the guys that he, he didn't seem like he was picking on the Robins and the Pippins. It seemed like it was, usually directed at the guys that he knew weren't really trying to bite back. And that's why I say it might have edged more on the bully side. But I mean, I think it was interesting to see the moment where Steve Kerr stood up to him, and how Mike said that after that moment, Steve Kerr, essentially gained his ultimate respect. And I think sometimes that's all it takes with somebody that is exerting that style. They just want to see who's going to bite back. I mean, I don't think I don't think certain aspects of Mike's leadership, especially when it came to the bullying aspect, had anything to do with him winning or losing. I think some of the things were just stuff he knew he could get away with.
Yeah, I think he got the best out of those guys in those moments, and he pushed those guys. And I'm sure they may not liked it in the moments, but I'm sure they liked it when they were popping champagne bottles. And I'm sure B.J. Armstrong liked it when he hit that big shot. He hit that big shot on Mike. Where you think he got that juice from? He had that anguish in him. Like, okay, I remember that in practice, Mike. When you was coming at me, I'm about to come and give it right back to you. And that's exactly what he did. So I like that. I think it got a rise of the people. They may not liked it, but hey.
It's effective.
Can't argue with the results. Exactly.